Today we're talking about the difference between credit sweeps and credit repair. And you may be surprised about some of the things that we're going to go over because, you see, a lot of people think that when I say credit sweeps, I'm talking about the illegal identity theft method. You know what I'm talking about, where there's a police report, you're saying, hey, these things don't belong to me, I'm a victim of fraud, and, this is all an attempt to get the negative items off in as little as 4 business days, instead of waiting months and months, or sometimes years, right? Now, if you were listening, you heard me say illegal. Now, let me just explain that real quick because it's very, very important. It's illegal to do an identity theft credit sweep if you are not a victim of fraud, right? You see, over the years, many consumers, I'm talking millions of consumers, made it more difficult now for actual victims of identity theft to utilize Section 605B, which is the section that allows you to remove your negative items with a police report using the identity theft sweep, right? And this was because they wanted to get their negative items off fast. Hey, you know what? I'm not hating. I don't judge. You try to find loopholes and everything and try to find shortcuts, but these shortcuts, these loopholes in, utilizing this when people weren't supposed to, made it so that actual true victims of identity theft now cannot, or virtually cannot, get their negative items off in as little as 4 business days because they end up spending years and years going around in circles saying, I am a victim of identity theft. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. And it's just a huge game of cat and mouse, right? So I wanted to be very clear that when I say credit sweep, I'm not talking about the illegal identity theft sweep, okay? So now that we have that part out of the way, we're going to talk about the difference between credit repair and credit sweeps where your results are concerned, okay? So what is regular credit repair? Well, that is a great question to the person who didn't ask it. So regular credit repair is normally a drawn out process somewhere between, let's just say 12 months and 5 years. And yes, I do have people that come to me after 5 years and say, hey, I've been doing this, that, and the third with companies A, B, and C, or even myself, and now I'm trying to do a credit sweep. And most of the time, I can't help, right? Because the longer you dispute, the harder it is to get the negative items off. But that's a different video. Okay, so here's the deal. When you're doing regular credit repair and you're with a company that does regular credit repair, normally they're doing only a couple negative items per month. Let's just say 9 items per month per bureau, and they do 1 bureau at a time. And of course, you never get to see what they're doing because they're just sending out regular templates. A template, and I did clarify what a template is in my previous video where I gave you the checklist. A template is where you are basically sending the exact same letter that you found or were given, and normally has a couple of laws thrown in there pursuant to this, that, and the third. You need to do this, that, and the third, right? Or I'm going to X or Y or Z, okay? So the only difference between your letter and someone else's letter is that it's your name, date of birth, address, and social, and accounts versus someone else's name, date of birth, address, and accounts, okay, and social. So besides that, the letter is exactly the same. Now, one of the things that you want to understand is that this same letter is being sent out for millions of people. And don't you think that the bureaus have a system in place to not only recognize that this is the same letter that was sent in for millions of consumers, but also have a system to immediately respond to it and get rid of you? Well, the answer to that is yes. Not only do they have a system, but the system works very, very well. So what happens is that this same letter is received, it is read by the computer, and it's matched against millions of other letters, yours and millions of other consumers, in this huge database. It's actually massive databases. And once it's deemed that this letter has been received, either in whole or part before, now they say, hey, everything's been verified. There's been no investigation, and that is the end of it. Now, let's look at what a credit sweep is, at least the way that I do it. Okay, so instead of 12 months to 5 years, now we're only talking about an average of 6 months outside of the pandemic, right? And sometimes even sooner than that. And instead of only, let's say, 9 items per month per bureau, we're talking about 100% of the accounts. So if there are 45 accounts, we're doing 45 accounts. Every single time that disputes go out, 100% of the accounts are done at the same time. Now, the question here and what you should be thinking is, well, wow, hey, wait a second. Why do those companies only do a couple accounts at the same time? Well, they tell you it's because it's going to come back as frivolous, but the answer to this is because it allows them to drag you on for as long as humanly possible. Now, the other thing that you should be thinking is, well, hey, wow, if you're doing 100% of the accounts at the same time, then that means that they can come off at any given time period, right? Yes, the answer to that is yes. However, you also want to realize that each type of negative item has its own average length of time for removal, like medical, which is approximately 30 days, but during the pandemic is 3 months, versus, let's just say, a charge-off, which is normally an average of 6 months, right now, an average of 8, right? So it just all depends on what you're disputing. But yes, the general answer to that is it can come off at any given time, right? That's not possible, or it is not possible to be done in less than 12 months if you were batch disputing. Now, the next thing that I said was that they only do one bureau at a time, right, with regular credit repair. Well, with a credit sweep, we're doing all 3 bureaus, if it's relevant, all at the same time. And again, this goes back to getting the quickest results possible, right? So if you're doing 100% of the accounts at the same time and 100% of the bureaus at the same time, then that can only mean that you are going to be done as quickly as possible, right? So what would you rather? Would you rather be dragged along with regular credit repair that's not targeted, not strategic, not tactical, not consumer authentic, not unique in any way to you, your personal information or your situation? Or would you rather have everything done every single round with all parties involved, have it completely and totally custom, because that was the next part, right? No templates, it's 100% custom. I mean, which one do you think is going to get the quicker results? Which one would you rather? A credit sweep that's legal or credit repair? Now, talking about unique disputes. So with a credit sweep, and again, this is the way that I personally do it, it's 100% consumer authentic and custom to you and your personal information in your credit report and the evidence, which is your credit report that we are dealing with, right? So that increases the ability to get results, that we're not sending out the same letter every single time for the same, for everybody, right? I think that's ludicrous. But anyways, that's just my personal opinion based on like all the facts that we have in front of us. But anywho, we use factual based disputes, which means it's the same thing as an attorney going to court with their facts and using their facts and evidence to persuade the judge or the jury or both to go, the way that they want to. It's the same exact thing. Now, we're not saying that, this doesn't belong to me or this, whatever. That's not the way that factual disputes work. We're asking for a deletion or correction based on inaccuracy, because Metro 2 says inaccuracy. It doesn't say, unverified. It doesn't say, incomplete. It only says accuracy, right? So anywho, we have another element to this. So another way that we increase our ability to get results in comparison to regular credit repair, there's many, 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 many ways, but these are the major ones, is also disputing with the creditors and the collectors where it is relevant, okay? So what this means is that, let's say we're disputing medical accounts. The fastest way to get medical accounts off is using the validation of debt method, where you're disputing directly with the collector as well as the bureau. It's not where you're only saying, this is unknown, this is unknown, this is unknown, remove it, give me a contract, give me this, give me that. No, we are first disputing with the collectors. We have 4 letters for that. Then 15 to 30 days later, we are disputing with the bureau. So we have a lot going on here. Now, when you add in your actual creditor disputes, and again, this is where relevant because there's very specific creditors and collectors you do not want to dispute with, it's creating a plan of attack from all sides. So we're not just sending in a letter and hoping for the best. That's actually what someone said on a call with me today. They said, hey, I'm just disputing online. I don't think it's going to work. I'm just doing this hoping for the best. I don't know what I'm doing. That's basically what you're doing with regular credit repair. So instead of doing just whatever, hoping for the best, we have an actual plan of action. We have a plan of attack. We know exactly what we're disputing, when we're disputing, with whom we're disputing, and we know what the follow-up is, what the next steps are. Because with factual-based disputes, you always have something to set the follow-up. You always have the next step. And it's super, super simple. I have 734 videos that break this entire thing down if you're interested. So anyways, that is the difference between regular credit repair 101, and illegal credit sweep. So with those facts available to you, the only logical conclusion that you could possibly have, and yes, I will argue this all day long with you, the only possible conclusion that you could possibly have is that your chances of success are greatly increased when you use a legal credit sweep versus regular credit repair 101. Now the question is, where do you find the information to do a credit sweep? Where do you find a company who does a credit sweep this way? Well, again, I can only talk about myself, but I will say that 99%, let's be kind about this. 97% of the companies out there use regular credit repair. And you're not going to know because they don't give you the copies of the disputes. So you won't know that they're using templates. You won't know that they're only doing a couple negative items at once. And you won't know that they're only doing one bureau at a time. And that's another thing that's crazy. You see, I give my clients all the copies of the disputes. I don't have them wondering what I disputed, when, with whom, tactic, strategy, so on and so forth. You see, it's your personal confidential information and you have every single right to know exactly what's being done with it, right? I mean, I'm sure you can agree with that. So when you are looking for a company, you should only go with one that's actually going to furnish the documentation that proves what they're doing, okay? That is just regular common sense. But anywho, moving on, I digress. So the way that you do this is you can either A, do it yourself. And again, I have hundreds of videos going back to the summer of 2016 that break down the entire thing for you and show you exactly how factual based disputes work, how you should be disputing, what you should not be doing, where you can go to learn, more on specific strategies and tactics. Or you can obviously schedule a call with me and the link is right at the top of the screen. It is my740.com and I will see if I can help. So you have two very, very simple steps. It's determining if you want to do this yourself, probably utilizing the regular credit repair method that is, probably not going to get you results in less than 12 months and not get your score where you need it to be. Or would you rather learn to do factual based disputes and do it the right way and then implement it? And again, I have hundreds of videos. I have downloads. I have courses, masterminds. I have apps. You can go down into the description and click on the link. That's going to take you to Live Letter, which is something that I came out with. It's a Google tool, Google Sheets tool, Or you can have me do the entire credit sweep for you and not have to worry about disputing the wrong way or saying the wrong thing or disputing with the wrong company or creditor or collector and getting yourself in trouble because it's done the wrong way, right? So if you want to find out more about that, use the links in the description, schedule your call, or go to one of the websites that I have there and get this done the right way. Because remember, the longer you dispute, the harder it is to get the negative items off. But that was it for today on the difference between credit repair, regular credit repair 101, and a legal credit sweep, right? So if you have questions about this, first of all, like this video, all right? Like the video, okay? Second, if you have questions, use the comment section. Let me know what your question is, and I will do my best to explain or clarify whatever it is. All right. I hope you have a great day. Smash that like I said, subscribe if you haven't done so, and have a wonderful weekend.